to remind those in attendance to please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices at this time. Individuals who would like to provide a public comment at a city council meeting are required to complete and submit those public comment cards in advance of the meetings. Public comment cards are always available online and at the chamber entrance. And then also just a reminder, those providing public comment may be allotted up to 3 minutes to speak on their single chosen topic. As I call roll, please confirm your attendance. Mayor Rusty Paul.
Present.
Councilmember John Paulson.
Here.
Councilmember Melody Kelly.
Here.
Councilmember Melissa Mueller.
Here.
Councilmember Frank Roberts.
Here.
Councilmember Mary Ford.
Here.
Councilmember Andrew Chinsky.
Here. Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comment cards?
We have not.
Okay, we'll close the public comment period. Is there a motion to approve the meeting agenda?
Mayor Paul,
Mr. Paulson.
I move approval of the meeting agenda for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026.
Motion by Mr. Paulson. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Paulson, seconded by Mr. Roberts, that we approve the meeting agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on approval of the meeting agenda. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The meeting agenda is approved. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mayor Paul,
Ms. Mueller.
I move that we approve the consent agenda for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026.
I have a motion by Ms. Mueller to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Ford. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on the consent agenda. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The consent agenda is approved. Moving to the public hearings, will the clerk please read the first item?
This is agenda item number 2026-080. That's ABL number 28438. Consideration of an alcohol beverage license application for PH Paradise Investment LLC, doing business as $3 Cafe at 4600 Roswell Road, Suite G100, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30342. The applicant is K. Young Ju Han for consumption on premises of wine, malt, and distilled spirits, presented by Revenue Manager Corey Holiness.
Ms. Holiness.
Good evening, Mayor Paul and City Council. This is a alcohol license for District 6, a new application for consumption on the premises of wine, malt beverage, and distilled spirits. PH Paradise Investment LLC, DBA $3 Cafe, 4600 Roswell Road, Suite G100, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30342.
That seems to be going around today, by the way. Nobody can get their location straight.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm actually from Virginia, so the applicant, Young Ju Han, has met all requirements, and staff recommends approval.
All right. Have we got any public comment cards? No. All right. We'll close the public hearing. You've heard the report of the Revenue Manager. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul,
Mr. Chinsky.
I move approval of agenda item 2026-0080, ABL number 28438, approval of an alcoholic beverage license application for PH Paradise Investment LLC, DBA $3 Cafe at 4600 Roswell Road, Suite G100, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30342.
I have a motion by Mr. Chinsky. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Ford. Any discussion?
Mayor Paul,
Mr. Chinsky.
is there any representative from $3 that's here by any chance? Well, in case you're watching, I'll just say I enjoyed going to your Buckhead location. I will enjoy even more that you are now in Sandy Springs, so looking forward to visiting soon.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item 2026-080, approval of an alcoholic beverage license application for PH Paradise Investment, $3 Cafe, 4600 Roswell Road. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
This is agenda item number 2026-081. That's ABL number 28199. Consideration of approval of an alcoholic beverage license application for FK Brazilian LLC at 8631 Roswell Road, Suite A, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30350. The applicant is Fabricio Silvera for packaged beer and wine, presented by Revenue Manager Corey Holiness.
Ms. Holiness.
Thank you. This is a alcohol license for District 1, a new application for packaged beer and wine, FK Brazilian LLC. DBA is FK Brazilian LLC, 8631 Roswell Road, Suite A, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30350. The applicant, Fabrizio Silva, has met all requirements and staff recommends approval.
Do we have any public comments? All right, we'll close the public comment period. You've heard the report of the Revenue Manager. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul,
Mr. Paulson.
I move approval of Agenda Item 2026-81, ABL 28199, approval of an alcoholic beverage license application for FK Brazilian LLC, 8631 Roswell Road, Suite A, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30350. The applicant is Fabricio Silvera for packaged beer and wine.
Motion by Mr. Paulson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Paulson, seconded by Dr. Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on Agenda Item 2026-081, approval of an alcoholic beverage license application for FK Brazilian at 8631 Roswell Road, Suite A. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
This is agenda item number 26-82, consideration of a resolution to approve a Metropolitan River Protection Act certificate for River Corridor Review RC 2601SS, and that's for 6360 River Overlook Drive, presented by Planning and Zoning Manager Michelle McIntosh Ross.
Ms. McIntosh Ross.
Great. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. For your consideration is the approval of a resolution to authorize a Metropolitan River Protection Act certificate for the property located at 6360 River Overlook Drive. This is a single-family home lot, and it's in the RD 27 zoning district in Council District 6. It's also in the Riverside neighborhood. The applicant is proposing to renovate their garage and expand their driveway. The Atlanta Regional Commission has reviewed this application and found that the project is consistent with the Chattahoochee River Corridor Plan. And based on that determination, it is staff's recommendation to the Mayor and City Council to approve this resolution to authorize a Metropolitan River Protection Act certificate for the property located at 6360 River Overlook Drive.
All right, thank you. Do we have any public comment? We'll close the public comment period. You've heard the report of the Planning and Zoning Manager. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul,
Mr. Chinsky.
I move approval of Agenda Item 2026-082, a resolution to approve a Metropolitan River Protection Act certificate for River Corridor Review RC-26-01SS for 6360 River Overlook Drive.
We have a motion by Mr. Chinsky. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, man, that was close. I think Ms. Mueller got in just one breath ahead. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on Agenda Item 2026-082, a resolution to approve a Metropolitan River Protection Act certificate for River Corridor Review RC-2601SS for 6360 River Overlook Drive. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please go to the new business and read the next item.
This is agenda item number 2026-083, consideration of a resolution to approve contract award to Soul Construction LLC to construct the Mount Perrin Road and Powers Ferry Road sidewalk project, to authorize the city manager to execute the contract. This is presented by Public Works Director Marty Martin.
Mr. Martin.
Mayor and Council, good evening. Tonight I bring to you a contract award recommendation to Soul Construction for the construction of the Mount Perrin Road and Powers Ferry Road sidewalk project, S2186, and request your approval as well, authorization for the city manager to execute the contract in the amount of $974,966.62. A little background, the city plans to construct new sidewalk along both Mount Perrin Road and Powers Ferry, extending from Carroll Lane to the existing sidewalk at the intersection of Mount Perrin Road and Powers Ferry, then continuing west on Mount Perrin Road to Rebel Trail Northwest. The work includes installation of approximately 4,000 linear feet of sidewalk overall on both roadways. To that end, on January 16th, the city issued an invitation to bid to identify a qualified contractor to perform the work. The city received 8 bids on February 16th, 2026, with Saul Construction, out of those 8 bidders, being the apparent and most responsible and responsive low bidder in the amount of $974,966.62. Excuse me. That bid compared very favorably with the engineer's cost estimate of $1.15 million. Upon review of the bids and knowledge of Saul's work, they're actively working on our Spalding Drive sidewalk project as well. City staff recommends award to Saul Construction in the amount of $974,966.62.
You've heard the report of the Public Works Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky, you're busy tonight.
This is the third of many. I move approval of agenda item 2026-083, a resolution to approve contract award to Soul Construction LLC to construct the Mount Perrin Road and Powers Ferry Road sidewalk project and to authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
A motion by Mr. Chinsky. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chinsky, seconded by Ms. Ford. We got dueling seconds here. Any discussion?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky.
Just a couple quick questions for Marty. So I understand the sidewalk along Mount Perrin is going to be on the north side of Mount Perrin, correct? And there's going to be a mid-block crossing to help connect to Grace Park?
That's, just immediately east of East Conway there.
I think this is great. I think this will connect a lot of residents in the south end of the city to some of the existing sidewalk and ultimately to get towards Chastain Park, which, although is outside the city of Sandy Springs, is a major park that a lot of residents, particularly in my district, use. So I'm super excited about this and grateful that we can move ahead.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question is on agenda item 2026-083, resolution to approve contract award to Soul Construction to construct the Mount Perrin Road and Powers Ferry Road sidewalk project and authorizing city manager to execute the contract. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk, please read the next item.
This is agenda item number 2026-84, consideration of resolution to approve change order number 2 to the existing contract with Excellior Construction LLC for the CDBG Roswell Road Streetscapes project, that's T00337, and to authorize the city manager to execute the revised contract documents. Also presented by Public Works Director Marty Martin.
Mr. Martin.
Mayor and council, tonight I bring to you change order number 2 with a big time frame and a very small dollar amount for a city's existing contract with Excellior Construction in furtherance of our CDBG Roswell Road Streetscapes project, T33-7. And the increase in contract time in this case would be a proposed 200 calendar days to take Excellior's contract with the city through required utility relocations work still underway on Roswell Road, as well as a very modest price increase, in this case $6,500, in the interest of accommodating restoration of work and damages to work as the project sits until the contractor can ultimately complete the work. The city initially issued a notice to proceed to Excellior on February 10th, 2025 to commence the project with a contractual performance period of 200 calendar days. Due to extensive delays initially caused by Georgia Power, and in some cases this project involved a significant amount of aerial utility relocations to execute this streetscape here. Existing aerial utilities on Roswell Road immediately south of 285, Georgia Power had to relocate, and then subsequent utilities as well attached to the poles there relocate in order to complete the complete and usable streetscape here. Georgia Power encountered some right-of-way issues along the way, an undisclosed right-of-way acquisition that they had to make interim in the middle of their work that took some time in order for them to ultimately get the right-of-way permits that they needed to ultimately locate utility service to the back of the commercial facilities on Roswell Road where the streetscape's being constructed. As well with that, seeing that Georgia Power wasn't going to complete as originally forecasted, the city originally gave the contractor a 90-day calendar extension, change order 1, on August 13, 2025. The delays continued, however, with ultimately AT&T, the final utility contractor, now finally able to make progress on their relocations. They had to go obtain some GDOT permits as well to bore under Roswell Road and then ultimately relocate their facilities, again, to the back of these commercial facilities so that ultimately the utility poles on Roswell Road on the streetscape frontage could be removed. They've ultimately gained their permits. They've completed successfully the underground bore underneath Roswell Road at the intersection nearby here, and are in the process, they being AT&T, of successfully relocating their utilities. It's staff belief with this additional 200 days that are requested here tonight that AT&T will ultimately be able to move their facilities out of the way. Georgia Power then pull the empty utility poles, and Acceler Construction, who's been very responsive and cooperative throughout this entire effort, can go in and put in the last bits of streetscape to make this facility complete and usable. So that's the story of change order 2, as I asked for 200 days for it from you tonight, $6,500.
This project's been a saga, hasn't it?
It has, but it's in one of the heaviest used pedestrian areas in the city. It's worth it to the people that are there. A little overdue in terms of trying to get it for them, but hopefully with this work finally getting done, they'll get a facility they've needed for some time there.
All right, thank you. You've heard the report of the Public Works Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky.
I move approval of Agenda Item 2026-084, a resolution to approve change order number 2 to the existing contract with Acceler Construction LLC for the CDBG Roswell Road Streetscapes Project T0033-7, and to authorize the city manager to execute the revised contract documents.
Motion by Mr. Chinsky. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Roberts. That we approve Agenda Item 2026-084, a resolution approving change order number 2 to the existing contract with Acceler Construction for the CDBG Roswell Road Streetscape Project. Any discussion?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky.
Marty, how, if at all, does this overall project play into the potential GDOT rearranging of the 285 and Roswell Road intersection?
Councilman, at this time, tough to tell. That's a design in the works, as you're well aware from the scoping study we heard about just a couple of weeks ago. And there's far more refinement for that work. As you heard that night when the GDOT consultant team made the presentation to you, it looks like this bridge overpass, Roswell Road over 285, now moves to the Express Lanes project, which causes even more decisions that need to be made along the way with the project. So don't know as yet. Ultimately, some of this work may well need to be modified, as became clear in the initial study we saw last 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago at this point. We'll figure that out as more details become available, is what I can offer you tonight.
No, that was my sense as well, and that project seems too speculative and far off. I don't want to pause this because this will be very worthwhile on its own. So I'm grateful for that, but I wanted to ask the question.
And in the case of this work is all but done. Where the poles are located right now, it's gravel walking surface. So literally, once these poles are pulled, a couple of curb lines get replaced, contractor comes in and puts some fresh concrete in for the sidewalk, and some lighting goes up, and we're done with this project. So it's that close at this point.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on Agenda Item 2026-084, a resolution to approve change order number 2 to the existing contract with Acceler Construction. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. Clerk will please read the next item.
This is Agenda Item Number 2026-085, consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2026 budget to authorize funding reduction and impact fee substitution for project number P0019, presented by Director of Recreation and Parks, Brent Walker.
Mr. Walker.
Evening, Mayor. This rarely happens. It's where I don't have to take more money. I'm trying to give some back. So I'm very happy to do this tonight. The Old Riverside project was first budgeted in 2012 with land acquisition occurring in 2014, all funded by general fund transfers. The project was closed out and the project itself remained dormant until 23, when $4 million of park impact fees were allocated to it. Design for the park began with the following year, and an additional allocation of $2.5 million from the general fund was made in 2025 to complete the estimated funding needs for design and construction. Staff solicited bids for the project on January 16th and received a competitive bid of $3,980,770 to build the majority of the park. The soft surface trails were removed from the scope to ensure that all bids were submitted equally. Currently, there is $5,902,346 of available budget in Project P0019. Staff is requesting that approximately $5.5 million remain in the project to cover the cost of the construction for the park amenities and allow for a contingency amount for any unforeseen conditions. Since the $2.5 million allocation of general fund transfers in '25, a substantial amount of additional park impact fees has been collected and now are available for allocation into Project P0019 and can substitute for most of the funding from the general fund currently budgeted in the project. The resulting remaining balance of P0019 can be transferred to capital contingency to allow staff to better utilize the funds for other projects. With that, I'll open to any questions you may have.
All right, you've heard the report of the Recreation Parks Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky.
I move approval of Agenda Item 2026-085, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2026 budget to authorize funding reduction and impact fees substitution for Project P0019.
Have a motion by Mr. Chinsky. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Mueller. Any discussion?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky.
Question more for the city manager. So the money that is being transferred back into the capital fund, this will be ours to figure out how to allocate as part of the normal capital improvement project process?
We'll be discussing that during the budget process this year, but it's also there during the year if we have other capital projects that come in with a higher bid. We've had that happen over the last few years, thankfully not as often recently. So it's our typical practice to keep it in the contingency so that we have some cushion if we need it in any other areas.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Mr. Paulson.
So, Brent, the soft trail part of this that you pulled out, you still got money set aside for that, yeah?
Yes, sir. As part of the $1.5 million of contingency funds that are still in the project, portion of that will be used for the soft surface trails. We just felt that that portion of the plan set was a little nebulous when it came to some of the questions we got back during the pre-bid process. So we thought it'd be better to just, for apples to apples bid, have them bid on the hard scope, and then the trails we can bring in and do. It'll be done during the construction process of the main park area. We'll just bid that out and can provide better scope to a smaller group of contractors.
So I like having money come back into the coffers for other use, so good job.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on Agenda Item 2026-085, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2026 budget to authorize funding reduction and impact fee substitution for Project P0019. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
This is agenda item number 2026-86. Consideration of a resolution to approve contract award to Eastern Builders, Inc. to construct the Old Riverside Park project and to authorize the city manager to execute the contract. Also presented by Director of Recreation and Parks, Brent Walker.
Mr. Walker.
The mayor and city council adopted a concept for Old Riverside Park in December of 2022. Since that time, construction documents have been completed and permitted for a new park along the Chattahoochee River, which will include new hiking trails, a natural playground, restroom facilities, and picturesque views of the river. On January 16, 2026, the city issued invitation to bid 26-020 for the construction of the park. 9 bids were received on or before March 6th, as shown in the agenda memo. Upon review of the bids, staff recommends award to be made to the lowest, most responsible and responsive bidder, Eastern Builders Incorporated, in the amount of $3,980,770. Staff have contacted and provided references and representatives of other past projects and received positive results from all. With that, I open any questions you may have.
All right, you've heard the report of the Recreation and Parks Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky.
I move approval of Agenda Item 2026-086, a resolution to approve contract award to Eastern Builders, Inc. to construct the Old Riverside Park project and to authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
Motion by Mr. Chinsky. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chinsky, seconded by Ms. Mueller, that we approve Agenda Item 2026-086, a resolution approving contract award to Eastern Builders to construct Old Riverside Park. Any discussion?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Chinsky.
Brent, would you mind touching on the timeline for construction that the public might expect?
Sure. So once the contract is fulfilled, we have their insurance and all that, they said they can mobilize about 10 days after notice to proceed, which is pretty quick. They're very anxious to get started. We've got good weather right now, so they want to get in. Our anticipation is that the project will be completed in this calendar year. That is our goal, is to have it done in Q4 of 26.
That would be amazing. I've had a couple constituents reach out and ask about volunteer opportunities with the park, whether through construction or afterwards. Can you give any feedback on that?
Sure. So during the construction of the park, the public won't be allowed in there. The construction company has to control the site, make sure no one's on there getting hurt.
Stay away.
Stay away during construction. Afterwards, certainly our Eco Stewards program is very popular right now. As we're building the soft surface trails, there'll be opportunity for invasive removals and things like that within the park property. So there's the concepts are in the memo, but there's kind of a centralized park hub with all the amenities, but the remainder of the 20-plus acres is all wooded with natural surface trails. So there's going to be a lot of volunteer opportunities out there for that.
Great. Well, I will be counting down the days to the ribbon cutting. It is very rare that we get to construct a full-fledged park like this, given how built out Sandy Springs is. So kudos to your team. Really looking forward to it, and thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Mueller.
So I just want to echo that sentiment. I know that the Riverside community, as well as some of the District 3, the Breakwater, the North Harbor, and the communities on that side of the district are really looking forward to this. This is a long time. I know the mayor said sometimes things take a while to come to fruition, so I'm really excited to see this and looking forward to the ribbon cutting.
Thank you.
Mayor Paul, one other comment. I meant to say also thank you to those who were on council before and some of our previous colleagues, including the original councilwoman for District 6 who's in the audience, for all of the many years of hard work that led to this project. I've been here 3 months. I had very little to do with it, and I appreciate all the work that you put into this, so thank you.
Yeah, this one is, we've been sitting on this one for a while, and I know this is something that the folks in that part of the city have been looking forward to for quite a while. I'm delighted that we're able to get this thing underway. It's got some beautiful views of the river.
It does.
Great river access, and with the trails and everything else, I think this is going to be one of those jewels that we come to appreciate as we go through time. Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we better vote on it. Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question is on agenda item 2026-086, a resolution to approve contract award to Eastern Builders to construct Old Riverside Park. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
This is agenda item number 2026-87, consideration of a resolution to approve participation in the FY 2025 Burn Justice Assistant Grant Program, to develop a memorandum of understanding for the program, and to authorize the mayor to execute the same. This is presented by Sandy Springs Police Major Norman Vick.
Major Vick.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. So this JAG grant proposal is for Sandy Springs Police Department to be able to receive funds for Criminal Justice Initiative, the JAG grant, which offers Sandy Springs $15,898 to use towards equipment, personnel, training, and so on. So with that, we are planning on using that money to install 2 safes for supplies for the police department to use in the case of any active emergencies that go on here in the City Hall or the Performing Arts Center. It's going to hold equipment that officers would have in their patrol vehicles, but if they're working here inside City Hall, they may not have time to go to those vehicles to get that, so they'll be able to access that equipment here in the Performing Arts Center. We also look at replacing 2 laptops for our criminal intelligence unit. They have some outdated laptops that need to be replaced. This money will help provide that. And then lastly, we're looking at adding 15 workstations to some existing cubicles we have at Sandy Springs headquarters for our traffic unit. That's going to include the docking stations for the 15 cubicles, as well as 30 monitors to house those, that'll sit on those workstations, and that'll help those officers better perform their duties day to day. And then with that, we'd have to, the remaining balance would be about $1,000 to subsidize and make sure we can provide all that equipment for us.
All right, you've heard the report of the police major. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul,
Mr. Paulson.
I move approval of agenda item 2026-87, resolution to approve participation in the 2025 Burn Justice Assistance Grant Program to develop a memorandum of understanding for the program and authorize the mayor to execute the same. And a point of clarification, this is fiscal year 2025?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's where the money was approved for, so it'll
Okay.
be going forward.
Thank you.
Is there a second? Second. Motion by Mr. Paulson, seconded by Mr. Roberts, that we approve agenda item 2026-087, resolution to approve participation in the FY 2025 Burn Justice Assistance Grant Program. This is an annual program we participate in a number of times, correct?
Yes, sir. Every year it's a different amount of money and different stuff we use to help the police department out.
This is one of those few Department of Justice grants that we get to participate in at a local level. All right, is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Dr. Kelly.
All right, Major Vic, quick question for you. Do you can you give us some insight on how the amount is determined, what that formula is? I noticed that we seem to have the smallest allocation out of the municipalities that we're.
That I'm not 100% aware
I
of.
can actually answer that.
Okay.
I used to manage this program for the state for many years. So the reason that our number is smaller is it's based upon your crime rate. So our crime rate is, by comparison, much smaller than the others who are included in this. And we are now considered a disparate jurisdiction, which means that because we are in Fulton County and below a certain threshold of a dollar amount, we are pooled in with one award that goes to the city of Atlanta, and they then distribute to the other cities that are participating.
Based on crime rate, among other factors.
The actual dollar amount, as you mentioned, is included in the packet, and it's a formula that takes into account factors such as your Part 1 crime rate and then your population. But that is the reason why our number has continued to go down, because the police department does an excellent job at keeping our crime rate relatively low.
Right, and also in the packet, I think the allocations across the state are included, so it's an interesting comparison.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item 087, a resolution to participate in the FY 2025 Burn Justice Grant Program. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. Moving to Mayor and Council reports, I want to congratulate the gentleman who's wearing the Michigan tie to my left on his alma mater getting the national championship last night. Congratulations. We Auburn fans, we won a national title too. It was just in a much lesser tournament, the National Invitation Tournament. We've had our first meeting on the SDS with Fulton County and the other cities in Fulton County. We're kicking off that project, which must be completed by December 31st to refresh everyone's memory. Well, everybody knows what T-SPLOST is. It's the sales tax that has to be reauthorized this year. And we're in the process of getting the list together, which you've seen some examples of. SDS was kicking off. We've had our first meeting. Staff of each of the cities was asked to get together and pare that list down to about, Eden is the brains behind all this. She figured out what all the services that we have to decide and send a spreadsheet around, and staff is getting those numbers, that list pared down from those which are just kind of no-brainer type, who we know who's providing the services, to get it down to those small number of issues that have to really be negotiated out during this process. We'll be keeping everybody briefed on these conversations as we go forward. The next meeting will be April 13th, which is likely to be staff to continue that work to pare down that list to those items that need to be decided on as part of the SDS agreement that we have to put together to the Department of Community Services. So we're in the middle of doing that, and as I say, we'll keep council briefed on where we are in that process. Legislative session, it's safe to let women, children, and old people back out on the streets because the General Assembly is adjourned for the year. It was one of the most grueling legislative sessions. I mean, I know Councilor Lee and I have been through a number of these through the years, both as observers and as participants, and this is probably one of the most grueling legislative sessions. It was not a good session for local government. I've never seen local government targeted as much as we were in this session. But when we're still waiting for the bills to be posted, the final versions, the thing about sine die is there's stuff buried in there that you just never find out until probably 2 weeks after the session's over with. And because the session ended on the Friday before this past weekend, a lot of the bills' final versions haven't been posted yet. We're going through those to really understand what the implications and impacts are, and then the governor has 45 days to sign or veto any of those bills that came through. Most of those decisions will occur at the end of the 45-day period, so we won't know for sure what all happens until he gets through with his role in this process. But it was a challenging legislative session, a lot of late nights, and I want to thank our city manager who was very active in working with the Georgia Municipal Association in analyzing these more than 15 versions of tax legislation that had to be evaluated and analyzed on the fly. She was able to get it done and get the information back to the GMA Government Affairs team, which was very helpful, and making sure that they understood what the implications were, not only for Sandy Springs, but for all the other cities in the state of Georgia. So, Eden, thank you for your work on that. A lot of late nights, early morning type. We'd get a version, and she'd start immediately doing the evaluation and analysis and getting that back to the people who needed that information, so that we could work with the legislators to make those bills a little bit better as we went through. As I say, we haven't seen the final versions of them yet, but as soon as we do, we'll do that. Get an analysis of all that and other legislation that affect local governments. We'll get that out. And then finally, I hope everybody had a very blessed and holy Passover and Easter this past weekend. It was very meaningful for the Paul family because our middle daughter surprised us by showing up on Thursday before Easter and didn't tell us until she walked through the door that she was flying home. So that made it extra special for us. Anybody else? Mr. Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. So before council meets again, there's an event that's going to happen right out front here on the city green, and it's the first ever car show, an exotic car show, benefiting the Sandy Springs Police Foundation, and it's being powered, like the word powered, by Caffeine and Octane. This is an outfit that does car shows in the tunes of thousands of cars, and they've readily volunteered to participate in this. And they are bringing 120 or 130 of the most exotic cars we're ever going to see. I think your Oldsmobile is in there too, Mayor.
Yeah, it's in there. It should be. It's an antique.
It's in the back. Anyway, so
now I have a truck that would qualify.
It's the 19th. I tried to get him to put my Ford Taurus in there, and I was going to wash it and everything. So anyway, I heard today that there's going to be one of the most expensive Bentleys made will be there, as well as a bunch of others. So a week from Sunday, April 19th, starts at 1 o'clock. Tickets are on sale. The general ticket is general admission is, I think, $10. There's a VIP section if you want to have breakfast and meet some of the drivers and some of the owners. But it's going to be a wild show, and it benefits the Police Foundation, which has only been in existence a couple of years. This is kind of their flagship big event, and I want everybody to know it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Bruce Pifke, as a Sandy Springs resident, has been unbelievably generous with this city through the years, and I want to thank Bruce and his team for stepping up. Bruce used to be the guy who put together Movies by Moonlight and a lot of other things around this community through the years, and so I'm just appreciative that Bruce and his team have stepped up to help the Police Foundation, so thank you. Anybody else?
Mayor Paul, I have a couple things.
Yes, Ms. Ford.
I would like to thank city staff and police department and fire department for their support of the High Point Civic Association meeting a couple weeks ago. I know the neighbors especially appreciate the communication that is coming out about the new fire station. So thanks for that. And then, Mayor Paul, you mentioned T-Splosh. I believe the first meeting is actually tomorrow night for input. So I look forward to participating in that.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, staff reports. Nothing. All right, well, good. We do need an executive session for the purposes of real estate and litigation. Is there a motion to suspend regular order and go into executive session?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Paulson.
I move that we suspend regular order and move into executive session for the purposes of real estate and litigation.
Motion by Mr. Paulson. Is there a second? Motion by Mr. Paulson, seconded by Mr. Roberts, that we move into executive session for the purposes of real estate and litigation. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on the executive session. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are going into executive session. There will be no further business conducted here tonight. We shall simply return to this room, return to regular order, and immediately adjourn. So thank you for being here. All right. Okay. Mr. Paulson moves that we return to close executive session and return to regular order. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Roberts. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question is on the return to regular order. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Mr. Paulson moves adjournment. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Roberts. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. We are adjourned at 8:11.